Well, greetings, my snow disciples. This is Rev Snowflake, and welcome to the Snow Church video for, do I dare say it, Groundhog Day? You know, the rodent only gets it right 36% of the time. So, I heard there was a meme floating around with a groundhog in like a long, what am I looking for? Like bedroom attire. I got glasses on, and it's Mrs. Groundhog, and she lives in Florida. And she says, "Don't believe my husband. He's a serial liar." 36% of the time. And your chances are 50-50. So unlike other weather forecasts, when you have a whole lot more variable than two choices. So at any rate, maybe I'm just jealous the groundhog gets all the attention and this poor John D's Snow Church can't even get 1,000 views. Why is that, too? Share, folks. Share this video. Please get the word out. I'd like to be able to keep doing it, but, you know, at 800 views, I have to see if it's worth my time. Did you just see that? Look at that. There goes a snowmobile. Yeah, boy. There goes another one. Woohoo! Wait a minute, another one. This wasn't even planned. How awesome is this? Come on, board. Get going. This is in Grand Marais. Yes, it's snowing to beat the band in beautiful downtown. I don't know, this is pretty close to downtown Grand Marais. But that's so cool. That's so cool. I think that's the very first snowmobile action we've seen on Snow Church video. Yeah. All right, here comes another one. You know, we could probably stand here and watch this all day, but let's do this. Back out of that and go to the 24 snowfall hour recent map. Is that how you say it? Not a whole lot going on till you get up into the Keweenaw, but again, this ended at about 7 a.m. this morning. The winds have shifted. Oh, yes, they have. And what has that caused? Well, that has caused the lake effect snow banding to not just be confined to the Keweenaw, but the entire snow belt area of the UP. Now, what's going on in Grand Marais right now is the wind shift line. We had that same wind shift line come through right at the time poor Nora and Gracie were trying to get to school, and she reported pretty much zero visibility all the way from Jacobsville to Lake Linden, the poor gal. But she's an excellent driver, and she made it to school all safe and sound, thankfully. And I'm thankful for that. Now, we'll look at another view that I really haven't shown much at all, if at all, but the satellite. Yes, the satellite. And what you can see is the actual lake effect snow banding. And here's that wind shift line right here. What happens at wind shift lines is you got winds coming from different directions, so they combine, smash into each other. And since they can't go down into the ground, they go up. And since then the air is going up, it's enhancing the lifting, enhancing the cloud growth, and enhancing the precipitation growth. So there's a little bit of edumacation for your Thursday. And let's get to the models. Let's just keep this moving right along. This is the European. Always start with the European. I'm not sure why, but here we go. Lake effect snows, and you can see how they will be, you know, sort of concentrating themselves here more towards the eastern end. It doesn't really look like it maybe in this model, but this eastern end is probably going to get a little bit more snow than the western end. One, because, well, they've got that convergence band going on right now with the wind shift, and they'll be in a pretty decent fetch. That's another meteorological term. That's the amount of time the air spends over, or distance really, the air spends out over the lake. The more time it can spend out over the lake, the more heat and moisture it picks up, and thus typically the heavier snows you get. So good for you eastern end of the UP here in the next 24 hours. And then by the time we get to later Friday, which is right about here, things will be generally quieting down. We're going to see a southerly and even southwesterly flow develop across the entire Midwest. That's going to warm things. You'll have to check the forecast maps, but it looks as though by Saturday late afternoon, a good chunk of Minnesota and Iowa and Missouri will be above freezing. Most of Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan will be below freezing. And then by Sunday, pretty good chunk of Illinois, I think parts of Indiana and Ohio will be above freezing. So a little bit of a warm up, especially in Minnesota and Iowa. All the Midwest is going to warm up, but a flirt with the freezing mark in some places that haven't seen above freezing temperatures occur in probably at least a week or more. We'll just roll this thing out, and then there is a little bit by the time we get to Tuesday. Here it comes right there. A little bit of snow up in these areas with a weak Colorado low that'll be moving through. And then a couple days later, you'll start to see this snow break out, and that is with a very, what the European sees is a very, very weak panhandle hooker. I mean, you don't see panhandle hookers looking this pathetic very often, but that's what the European says is going to happen. And I happen to be a fan of the European model, so I'm not going to totally disregard what it's saying, but it's pretty far out in the forecast. And then beyond that, maybe a little bit of lake effect and maybe another clipper. So let's jump to what the GFS has to say. GFS is the Americanized model, the global model for this National Weather Service that we live in. All right, here's a little bit more dramatic example of how the East End will get it a little bit better than the West End in the next 24 hours or so. This isn't even in the next 24 hours. This would be about in the next 24 hours. So Paradise going to live up to its name here in the next 24 hours, at least as far as a snowfall paradise being. I can also say for those of you that haven't been watching or have been living in a cave the last couple of days, the Keweenaw has gotten about 2 feet of snow in the last 3 days, 3 or 4 days or so. So we are very, very well set up for snow, fresh snow now. And it's good to see other areas get into the freshies when we've got our decent snow. And it's still snowing out there right now in the Keweenaw, and we'll pick up a couple of inches in the next 24 hours. But I digress. Let's just roll through here, and then it too indicates that little weak Colorado low. It's a little bit further to the south and east, but nonetheless indicates that snow to occur by about Tuesday, and then quiets down. But then here comes the panhandle hooker, very much like it had yesterday. Same relative timing, same relative strength, and there it finishes off. So this is more like you would see with an organized panhandle hooker. I will say that the European is not indicating the system to be very well organized at all. That's why it's showing such minuscule snowfall results. But so there is that difference of opinion. Surprise, surprise. Can you imagine that? But, you know, we are about a week out from any of those events happening, so it's not that big of a surprise, that big of a deal that the models are at odds. So what will we do? We'll wait and bide our time and see which one comes to fruition, if even either one comes to fruition. But I think there will be some kind of a panhandle hooker shaping up for the, let's just say, second half of next week, because the European has it coming in, I think, about Thursday, and the US model has it coming in. No, well, at any rate, Europeans like 24 hours sooner, and the GFS, I think, is late Thursday into Friday. Wouldn't that make great timing for a weekend in the northern Midwest? Yes, it would. I guess we can just spin this right on out through the rest of the time frame, and you can see that a little bit more additional snows fall. It's still going to be winter around here for the next 2 weeks, folks. There is a chance that maybe by about next Tuesday, much of the upper Midwest could be flirting with the freezing mark, maybe even nosing above it, but not a major meltdown by any means until you get further south, and even there, it's kind of apropos for this time of the year. So, kind of the last thing I wanted to show you was the global perspective at 500 millibar. We'll make this a little bit bigger so that everybody can see it. Again, the United States right here. And what we're watching is just this upper air trough, or what's been nicknamed or monikkered the polar vortex. And, it changes, it fluctuates, but I guess the bottom line is, through the period, it doesn't completely go away. It's a very typical winter-like pattern across North America for the next, well, really 2 weeks. One thing I wanted to show, though, I'm going to go down to hour 2:16. 16, not 19. Okay, what do we got? Well, you probably, let's see if I can blow this up enough so that you can really see. A little blurry, but here's the United States. Here's an upper trough. Here is, this is a very strong, what we call shortwave. And this is what's supporting that Colorado low. This is the GFS model. Great Lakes are right here. So I didn't touch the board. Don't yell at me. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. All right, let's just leave it like this. So I just wanted to show this. We've got that trough here. And you know how I talk about the Kamchatka connection? Well, let's go way off across the Pacific Ocean. And where's the Kamchatka Peninsula? Right here. Look at that low sitting right off to the east of it. So that's that connection, believe it or not. Low here, low here. It is almost a guarantee when you have a big low over Kamchatka that you're going to have a pretty decent sized low sitting over central North America, kind of central United States, really. So that's why we gotta love the Kamchatka Peninsula, because there's the Kamchatka connection. Kamchatka connection, remember, John D. coined that. Just like John D. coined the Bayfield bomber. Yeah, pat myself on the back. Can you tell I'm feeling a little insecure this morning? All right, well, I guess that does it for this morning and for today. Stay warm out there, because warmer temperatures are coming to all the Midwest starting tomorrow. More tolerable temperatures. I may even get out and ride on Saturday. Really, John? Really? You think you still know how? Well, we're going to find out probably. Anything else? Nope. Quit burning time. Have a great one. Keep those sticks on the ice. Rev Snowflake, signing off.